Hey Lunatics, it's Lady Luna, and today I have a very special topic that I've been wanting to discuss for a long time on this channel. In the past, I have posted a video about why I left veganism, and so I thought I would kind of piggyback off of that topic and talk about how I eat spiritually now. So, I find food to be something that is so spiritual and makes me feel so much more spiritually connected. And I used to think when I was vegan that the reason I felt that way was because I was vegan and that I was like, oh, I don't eat animals, so therefore I'm more compassionate, more empathetic, and such. As you'll see in the video about why I left veganism, which I'll put, in a link somewhere, um, the reason that I stopped being vegan, or at least one of the reasons, was health reasons, because my health just was not great. Another reason was I got pregnant and started craving meat and eggs like crazy. So you'll learn more about what happened with all of that in the video. But when I realized all that and realized, as I did more research on things, that the human body really is omnivorous and needs to have a balance of plants and animals and so forth in order to survive and thrive. And I'm sorry for anyone who's vegan and disagrees with this. I totally don't mind what people eat, but just for me, this is how it went. And so when it comes to spiritual eating now, I have several things that I go by. First, after I became as I used to say I was a pantheist. Now I'm getting more used to saying I'm a panentheist because I find that actually matches more of what I believe. So in panentheism, we believe that we're all part of one eternal, universal mind of consciousness. We're all little pieces of that consciousness that existed before the universe began. It's the consciousness that thought the universe into existence. So essentially, since we're all part of that same consciousness that some people call God or Source, you are part of the consciousness, and so am I, and so is everyone. So is every plant, every animal, every organism, every planet, everything that exists in the physical world. So with that in mind, it's interesting that we have to eat plants that are a conscious spirit being, and animals, which are another conscious spirit being, and all these other things. I feel like water has life, the earth has life, everything has a life and a spirit and a consciousness. So essentially, since we're all one, when we take in an animal and take in a plant and whatever to nourish ourselves, we're actually eating part of ourselves. I know that's kind of a weird concept. Now, does this mean that we should be cannibals? Absolutely not. We need to take care of our own kind, which is humans, and we need to care for each other and such because, number one, our species is our home. Our species is our family as far as probably where we're going to reincarnate next. And I do believe in such thing as a soul family where you keep reincarnating with like seemingly the same people and such. It's really spiritually important that we take care of human beings. That doesn't mean we can't care for animals. I think that's also a really spiritual thing, is trying to make things humane with animals, even if we have to use them for food sometimes and things like that. I also believe in eating meat sparingly. I do think that is the more healthful thing to do. I still have plenty of vegetarian and vegan days, and I think that's the most healthful thing to do. So if the main diet I follow right now, and I don't like to use the word diet, it's more like eating lifestyle, is the DASH, I guess you'd call it DASH lifestyle. Some people call it the DASH diet, which stands for Direct Approach to Stopping Hypertension. I got it. And this was actually prescribed to me by my doctor because when I was pregnant, I had preeclampsia, which is high blood pressure during pregnancy. And so this diet is made in such a way that it helps lower hypertension, which is high blood pressure, but it also reduces the risk of diabetes, heart disease, whole mess of other things. It's an amazing diet that is scientifically proven to help you fight and prevent different issues health-wise. And I love that my doctor actually prescribed it to me. and it makes you feel wonderful. And this isn't a commercial for that specific diet. There's also the Mediterranean diet, which is fantastic and is very similar to the DASH diet and has a lot of the same benefits and is backed up by science. So either one, that's fine. The point in all of this is eating whole foods from the earth, the most minimally processed things you can eat. That is what's the healthiest. And that is where the spiritual part lies with me in food, is when you eat more whole foods, not only are you healthier, but you feel more connected with nature, which to me is so important in spirituality. When we connect with the earth through things, especially like being out in nature, earthing, where you put your bare feet on the ground and just be in nature and soak up like the microbes from the soil into your feet and things like that, all of that is so good for you. Having fresh air that you're breathing and all these wonderful things. It's the same when we eat from the earth. Now, the more food is processed, the more salt, sugar, and fat is in it. And as we know, the excess of things is what's bad for our bodies. Little bits of things like eating, sweets and salt and like high saturated fat and things like that. All of that in moderation is fine. But in this modern world, we get in the habit of having that all the time for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And this isn't to shame anyone who does that. This is an encouragement to get in touch with the earth again. Get in touch with the fruits, the vegetables, all of the root vegetables that are great for your root chakra. In fact, all the chakras have foods that match their frequency if you just go by the color. So red goes with the root chakra, orange foods go with the sacral, and yellow foods go with the solar plexus, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of green foods that go with the heart. So the throat is actually interesting. The throat is more like liquids and teas and oils and such. Antioxidants go with the third eye and the crown. So the crown is more of fasting. That's another thing. So another part of spiritual eating is actually taking time to do intermittent fasting. So that's not long periods where you're just completely depriving yourselves of food like other fasting does. Intermittent fasting is where you have a certain time window during the day where you don't eat anything. So I don't eat until 11 o'clock a.m. and then I stop eating at 7 o'clock at night. So that way, it's one of those 16-8 types of intermittent fasting. So you're eating during an 8-hour time window, and you're not eating during the other 16 hours. And part of it is you're just sleeping for 8 hours, or about whatever time you sleep. So that's great because when you are able to better control your body by fasting, you're able to control so much other stuff in your life. It's kind of amazing when you don't rely on food so much for happiness or for routine and things like that. You actually gain so much more control over yourself. I would say another part of spiritual eating that I really like is the aspect of bringing in fresh herbs, or dried sometimes, in teas or in what you put in your food, because I've studied herbalism. And there are so many benefits to so many plants that we can put in our foods. And, I wouldn't say that natural medicine is any replacement for regular medical care, and I wouldn't say that. But at the same time, just for things to keep you healthy and prevent certain problems, herbalism can be so wonderful. And I really, really love it, especially with herbal teas. So one thing I really like is, I used to say a prayer over my food when I was religious, but now that I'm not religious anymore, I like saying a mantra over my food, and I've seen a lot of people do this too. They say, yum, and it's kind of like what you'd say when you're doing meditation for your chakras, where you go yum, or different things like that, or om. And you're putting your positive energy into your food because you're feeling the gratitude when you do it. And I feel like our words and the vibrations of what we say and what we feel when we say it can actually change the food to be better for us. I really do believe that. And that's kind of the idea behind prayer too. But in this way, I'm thinking more along the lines of if you've heard of Dr. Emoto and the water experiments and how the positive words actually change the structure of the water into a positive, beautiful snowflake, and the negative words made it ugly and brown, stuff like that. That's kind of along the lines of that. So I would say the last thing is eating mindfully. So one thing that we do in the modern world is we have a busy schedule, so we try to shove in whatever food we can during whatever times of the day we're able to eat because of work and things like that. I'm someone that's lucky enough that I'm now a stay-at-home mom, so my schedule is very different. But even when I was working, I tried to be mindful when I was eating, because if I'm eating on a schedule and can't always eat when I'm hungry, that can be difficult. So I tried to sit and really savor my food. And if you are able to just eat whenever you are hungry and don't eat when you're not, that's even better. Eating mindfully is so good and so healthy and can actually really help people. Some people have lost weight from it. I'm not promoting it as a weight loss thing, but eating when you're truly feeling the hunger pangs, not pain, but pang, like actually signaling that you are hungry, can help so much. When we overeat, it just bogs us down spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. It really does. So as we're able to sit and savor how our food actually tastes and be mindful of it and be grateful for it, it really nourishes us more and makes us more full. And we tend to eat more slowly when we do that, which makes us feel fuller faster. The whole idea of eating only when you're hungry and not eating when you're full is also known as intuitive eating, if anyone's ever heard of that. Those are my tips for spiritual eating and how spirituality is involved when you eat and every time you sit down to have a meal. And it's a time to feel grateful. It's a time to enjoy your senses and enjoy all the beautiful things from nature that you're putting into your body, because we really are what we eat. We become the vibration of whatever it is that we're putting in our body. So that's just something to remember. And maybe I'll make more videos about specific things when it comes to the DASH eating lifestyle, the Mediterranean eating lifestyle, anything like that. I don't know. Maybe even some stuff on herbalism. I don't know. But thank you guys for watching, and be sure to subscribe to this channel and check out my memberships videos for more on enlightenment and other types of subjects like that. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!